Yo, so finally we get to see what the Adidas and Fear of God Athletics clothing or silhouettes or trainers are going to look like. We've been having mock-up pictures of what they believe they would be, and let's be honest, some of them are not too far off what the final product looks like, but they're definitely not the final product. So I think a couple of weeks ago, Fear of God done a debut fashion show where they showed some of the Adidas Athletics collection. We saw kicks, we saw, I believe, some trousers which had the Adidas stripes, but it was mainly Fear of God oversized overcoats, jackets, jumpers, things like that. Traditional Fear of God clothing. Now, if you don't know Fear of God, they are a high-end fashion brand. So most of their clothes can, you get t-shirts for £300 and things like that. But recently, or not recently, a few years ago, he released a more affordable run of his clothing, which is called Fear of God Essentials. Now, these hit, they slapped, and they keep on slapping. You can have Fear of God hair or Fear of God Essentials hair. You've got Fear of God Essentials on the back, had them on the front. Every year he just redesigns them and puts something different on them, so you know that they're different from the year before. And they're reasonably priced in the sense that some of them are cheaper than a Nike Tech Fleece hoodie or trousers. So they're definitely affordable for the average Joe like me and you. But what I did notice when I was watching the little clips of the fashion show is that I never saw any essentials on parade. Now, this is a bit worrying, I believe, in terms of what the Adidas collab is going to bring. Now, we've known about this Adidas collab for maybe 2 years, way before Yeezy and Adidas got into their little spat and Yeezy leaving, etc. So it's not like they've just picked up Fear of God, now Yeezy's gone and brought him in. This was going on way before. But when we talk about Yeezy, when Yeezy first collabed with Adidas, he tried a high-end product, for high-end consumers. What happened there was they didn't fly off the shelves as quickly as Adidas thought they would do. Now, fast forward, they concentrated more in terms of the sneakers themselves. So you had the Yeezy 350s and all those kind of silhouettes, which were a bit higher priced than the average trainer, but because their uniqueness and just different designs, they flew off the shelves and they're welcomed and they became hot potatoes in the sneaker community. And they did so well for Adidas. In fact, they did so well when Adidas dropped Yeezy, or they split their ways. It cost them so much money that Yeezy and Adidas had to come back together, even if to sell what they say is the last remainings of the Yeezys they had on stock. So, not saying that I've seen any of those Yeezys out there, but we definitely know putting a high collab or high-end fashion brand with Adidas to sell to the millions hasn't worked in the past. Now, I'm not saying Adidas haven't done collabs with designers, because we've seen the Gucci, Adidas, we've seen quite a few high-end brands collab with Adidas and have high prices. But I always maintain when those high-end brands do collabs with the one-off trainers and things like that, those trainers or sneakers are not really for the average sneakerhead. They're for those people who buy Gucci, who buy Dior's, or etc. So they, can get a collab with a street brand or a sports brand. Now, obviously, this is different because this is going to be a collection like the Ivy Park collection, where they're going to have clothing and trainers and all that kind of stuff which went on. We've seen Ivy Park and Adidas didn't really work. I don't know what the ins and out was with that. Maybe it's just come at the wrong time. But now we see the silhouettes in terms of the sneakers with Fear of God and Adidas. They're not far off the Fear of God and Nike, but they're different, So I've seen the mix of the white and black, or the black and white with the white toe and the black toe. I've seen that they've remixed the Adidas Forum highs, giving them like a suede overlay and then a massive unit at the bottom. What I did notice about these new silhouettes in terms of the trainers was that, you could see that it's an Adidas trainer because it's got a cage of plastic around the side, but then you can definitely see it's a whole complete different silhouette than Adidas have ever released before, just like what the Yeezys did. Now, if we go in history and they price it just right in terms of how much they release these trainers for, then I think they have a chance of going all the way, just like what Yeezy did. It's all depends. Some people I've seen comments don't like them at all. I personally love them. I've seen some people who love them and can't wait for them to come out. I'm just hoping that they come out in a price range which is feasible for everyone, because right now cost of living and what's happening in the world and wages, they might price themselves out of things, you know. So depends on where Adidas want to put Fear of God in terms of their branding, but my understanding is that most of it is based on basketball. Now, basketball is for the common folk. I mean, don't be wrong, just like football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, it's meant to be for the common people. There are high prices in things like that. It does cost a lot to go and watch your team, but at the end of the day, when they're selling jerseys and they're selling all their apparel for the basketball, etc., it comes to a point where they have to market to it. It's affordable. It might be still a bit high, but it's affordable. You put a basketball jersey up for £350, it's not selling. Some people buy it, but it's not selling in the droves where people buy it now. Put up for £100 or £80 or thing, you know, people buy it. They'll buy it just like football shirts. You know, whatever team you support, their shirts are going up to £70 now. You know, £80. It gets to a point where you put a shirt for £150, it's gonna sit. So it'll be interesting to see how Adidas and Fear of God pitch these athletic collaboration. I think the trainers are fire. I would love to see what other apparel they have, like hoodies and things like that. We did get tees back in the past with a yellow hoodie which had Essentials and Adidas on it, things like that. But apparently that was just a one-off and it wasn't to be released. If it did, I could see it flying off the shelves. But just thought I'd bring this video. It's nice to see that something is now happening. Definitely looking forward to these. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit notification bell, and I'll see you again in the next video. Peace.